Hey everyone, welcome. In today's explainer, we're diving straight into the exact instructions for how a third-party system can securely send data into your SAP S4 Hana Private Cloud 2025 environment to update a billing block. And the best part? We're doing this entirely through standard APIs. If you're managing modern SAP implementations, you already know seamless external integration is absolutely crucial. We want to do this right, and we want to do it cleanly. So let's get right to it. The requirement we're looking at is actually pretty simple. But man, it is a scenario that comes up all the time in real-world projects. Basically, we need the system to pinpoint an existing sales order and automatically update that crucial billing block field, all triggered by a completely separate third-party application. But here's the million-dollar question we have to answer. How do we pull off this automatic update without breaking standard SAP protocols? How do we build a technical bridge that actually lasts? Okay, let's dive into this syllabus. Step by step, we're going to cover 1. The clean core strategy, 2. The architecture flow, 3. The exact API and payload execution instructions, 4. Security requirements, and finally, 5. The legacy methods you absolutely need to avoid. Part 1. The clean core strategy, following standard SAP. Before we even think about looking at code, we really need to anchor our entire solution right here. Clean core simply means strictly following SAP's standard methods. No custom hacks, no workarounds, just relying 100% on standard APIs. By sticking to this philosophy, you're literally guaranteeing system stability. It ensures your future upgrades remain incredibly smooth, so you're not scrambling to rewrite broken integrations every single time SAP rolls out an update. Part 2. Architecture flow. Let's map out that data journey. So let's see how this builds out. This is the recommended absolute best practice ecosystem flow, and it happens in 3 distinct, highly secure steps. Step 1 is our starting line, that external third-party app where the update is initially triggered. Now, instead of some messy, tangled point-to-point connection, Step 2 brings in our middleware. The data routes beautifully and securely right through SAP CPI or the SAP Integration Suite. And finally, Step 3, that middleware officially calls the S/4HANA API to push the update through. Trust me, using this middleware flow is the ultimate way to manage, scale, and monitor your integrations cleanly. Part 3. API and payload execution. Time to execute that payload. Now, what's really interesting about this instruction set is the specific officially released API endpoint we're going to utilize. For this requirement, we use the API sales order service. It routes straight to the A_sales order entity, and then you just pop your specific sales order number right there in the brackets, like 500,123, for example. And please, pay super close attention to the HTTP method here. It absolutely must be a patch request. Why? Well, we use patch because we're just modifying one specific field, the billing block. We aren't trying to replace the entire sales order document. And to get that patch request to actually execute successfully, we use this exact JSON payload syntax. Look at that. It's remarkably concise, but boy, is it effective. By passing the billing block reason, in this example, we're using the code 01. Right inside this JSON structure, the request is going to perfectly target and automatically update only that selected sales order. Just define your billing block reason parameter, assign it the value of 01, and boom, send it off. That single payload is completely clean core compliant, and it gets the job done instantly. Part 4. Security requirements. Let's talk secure authentication. Listen, you cannot just leave your standard APIs hanging open to the world. For real. Enterprise-grade authentication, you've got to configure a few non-negotiable elements in your system. First up, you need to set up a dedicated communication user. Second, that user has to be tied directly to a specific communication arrangement built just for this integration. And finally, for the authentication mechanism itself, you've got to use secure protocols like OAuth or Basic Auth. These are the strict, mandatory standards you need to securely validate that incoming request from your middleware. No exceptions. Part 5. Legacy methods to avoid. What absolutely not to do. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive divide between modern SAP architecture and, well, outdated development habits. While our standard API instruction strategy is the required path forward, you absolutely must steer clear of non-clean core legacy methods. I'm talking about BDC via O2 recordings. Do not use them. Avoid direct VBAK table updates at all costs. And please, for the love of the system, do not use unreleased function modules. Those are exactly the kinds of fragile custom hacks that are going to cause massive headaches and system breaks during your very next upgrade cycle. So, the crucial point to take away from all these instructions is pretty simple. Standard API plus clean core equals best practice. By leveraging the right middleware, using that patch method on the released sales order API, and locking it down properly, you're building an elegant, totally future-proof integration. But as you look at your own SAP landscape today, ask yourself, how many of your current integrations are actually just ticking time bombs of legacy code waiting to shatter during your next major upgrade?